Does that work? Salut Minette. Tu veux venir ici? Non? Scotty. Tu viens me voir? Salut mon bébé. Non? Okay. Awesome. Yes. I had to update the streaming software I use, and for some reason it reset which microphone to use. Great. How is everyone today? Hi guys. Hi Cyan. Hi Lana. Hi Buxapaint. Hi Jen. My cat is gone. Et ça y est, tu es revenu. Bonjour. Viens tu voir. Viens voir les amis. Oh, là. Et y'a ma babou. Salut. Salut. Ouais. Et pépette. Tu vas tout faire tomber. Fais pas tout tomber, s'il vous plaît. Ok. The time change has messed with the cats. Oh yeah, definitely. Same here. Arrête de tout péter tout le temps. Pas bouger. Oh. Petite amante là. Sois cute à la place. Oh. Ouais, ta caméra. Hein, pépette? She has a big scratch because of her allergies. She had to wear the donut a bit. Eh? Poor baby. Poor baby. I always feel bad when she has these allergy passes. It's so not easy to manage, is it? Hey, baby. This is a sweet baby. Ouais, c'est tes amis aussi? Hey, baby. It's not easy to be an old cat, is it? Ah, she's sending a lot of headbutts your ways, guys. Ouais. Ouais. T'es cute. Giant nose, yes. Big nose. C'est la pire. C'est la pire. Et oh, on n'a pas sa chaise. Faut aller chercher sa chaise. Hein? C'est ça tu veux, hein? Oh. Il y a de l'intérêt. Il y a crissement de l'intérêt.
Tu mets tes dossiers par ici.
Tu veux aller par là? Veux-tu passer là? Et voilà. Numéro 1. Nice! You got to see Tuna Face a bit. She wanted her chair. So now that she has her chair, she's good. Il y a du poil partout. Il y a du poil partout. So I hope you guys have a hot drink and maybe a snack. We just got done with eating, so I don't have a snack, but I have a coffee. Alright. I'm trying to assess how my camera is now. It's a bit bad. Hold on. Got my second coffee. That's good. Oops. I think that's a bit better. It's been chilly, so the extra fluffy blankets are out and the cats have shown their true colors. I wonder. I'll grab my sketchbook. Alright, so let's find something to doodle today. Did you get a chance to read what it says? It's like it's a bootleg sticker. I saw the image on Pinterest and it's someone's artwork, so keep that in mind, but it made me laugh so much. He couldn't remember ordering this with the cat and a burger, and I was like, this is so perfect. It's so funny. So I like printed a bunch with my printer, and I know I sent a couple to Jen. Did I send you a couple box of paint? I think I sent you a couple. Hey, Susan! How are you? I have a big one and a little one. Ah, I'm glad. I don't think I explained where they were from, but yeah, that's where they're from, and they just cracked me up so bad. It's so the person who did the artwork, I don't have the name in mind, but it's kind of easy to find again online. They made a bunch of these, and yeah, I think this one is the funniest. It just cracked me up so. It's so dang perfect. I know. I'm just mad I didn't think of that myself. I don't know if I could have, but oh man. Maybe I should doodle my own version of it. This is sort of how Hemi responded the first time to the cat chocolates. But she figured out they were awesome pretty quick. Wait, what? The cat chocolates? Have you tried the giving your cats pumpkin Baxa paint? I don't remember if I asked. I'm always curious to ask people who have cats if the cats enjoy pumpkin. Because my two cats are really, like, really obsessed with it. My sister got them for them and they prefer them to dreams. Oh, really? What? They're little chocolate bars. Yeah, but are they made from actual chocolate? We had to switch the cats to bursts. You know, it's the same idea as the Temptation. If you're not familiar with the Temptation or the Dreamies treats, they're basically like a little hard kibble that's shaped a bit like a pillow, and inside there's some softer stuff. And bursts are really similar, except they're more like a rectangular pillow. And they have slightly better ingredients than the Temptation or Dreamies, but when we tried to switch the cats to these don't have chicken too, so... Yeah, but the first couple of times we gave them the new ones, they completely ignored them. They refused to eat them. But they really quickly realized that it was that or nothing, and they decided that they were pretty good, actually. We don't get canned pumpkin here very often, but Amy has stolen one of my pumpkin croquettes. It isn't real chocolate, but unlike dog chocolate, this stuff melts in your... Oh, interesting. Huh. Like, Scout here is literally a trash rat. She will just... If it's a bit greasy, she's gonna eat anything. Like, she will wake up from her naps, come on purpose to see me if I'm spreading margarine on something. She really likes margarine for some reason. Not as interested in butter. have to Google for cat chocolate. I'm really curious about what's in it. I sent you a photo of them. Oh. Yeah. They're called savory cravings and doesn't call them chocolate, but exactly what they look like. You don't want to mistakenly bite in one. Oh my gosh, yeah, actually. See, it really looks like chocolate. Huh. I would so be fooled. I'm pretty sure that the smell has got to be something like that you can't really sort of mistake for chocolate. Is it really steak flavor? So throw a big fucking steak. Oh, sorry, a big steak on the box. You know when your cats eat better than you do. They don't really smell of anything, but they know. Oh no! Wow. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for those. If they possibly have some without any chicken in it. But yeah, for now the cats, they really enjoy the bursts. Like they enjoy any food because you know we starve them so much. Poor babies. I know, right? They only have like about 10 meals a day. It's really funny because the cat, they eats basically like the same amount, the same thing, but they have really different body shapes. So it's really funny because every time we feel like one of them is getting a bit chunky, we weigh them and they often weigh almost the same thing. Like within like 100 grams, you know, not like, oh, there's 1 pound difference, because 1 pound difference on animals that small is significant, you know. Hey, Cleo! Hello! I'm going to be doing some chores. Oh, awesome! Let's go! I spend a lot of time in the kitchen and I think it's snack time. Is it time for the cat chocolate? And now? And now? What about now? Now? And now? You moved! Is it now time for the cat chocolate? No? What about now? It's like, get out! Emmy is a little bit on the round side at the moment. Oh no, Emmy! You don't have to stock up for winter. You'll be fine. Though, I mean, that might might be a bit of a energy saving thing if the cats don't need the heating that much. Francesca is overweight and we're due for a vet checkup. Oh no! It's already hard enough to get a cat to lose weight. I don't know how you can get around to it with the bunners. While we were in the States, they got fed a month's worth of what? Oh no, how did that happen? So pretty from one angle, and the next time you look at her, she looks like a huge potato. Yes. Pickle's like that. Like, okay, let's try to doodle it because that's kind of funny. So Pickle, when she sleeps, she is able to form like the tiniest little donut kitty. She's super compact and tiny. Henry Vaughn, aka Mew Mew, is my little furry meatball. The vet has him on a diet, and then my mother watched him for a week last week. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It only takes like a week, and they get pretty chunky. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's Pickle in a tight donut. When she sleeps when she's like sitting in a bun, I don't know why, but she looks huge. Same cat, mind you. And then when you look at her from the front, she has her teeny tiny face, and she looks like a big egg, you know. But it's the same tiny cat. And like when if you look at her from above when she's standing up, like she has she's barrel chested, we call it. She has a very rounded up torso, but she still has that dip, you know, the dip before the hips that you're supposed to check for to see if your cat is overweight or not. So we never really actually know. And then if you have Scout like standing up, Scout is like lean and mean. She has the dip too, but she's pretty much the same width, like all over. She's not barrel chested like Becco. We swapped kibbles and forgot to update the cat sit. Oh no, they are the big huge kibbles for dental health, and she fed them the older. My sister's cat is nicknamed the avocado. Oh, we nicknamed Pico, but I like to call her Coco, which is kind of a word for egg. And her name is Pecco, so Pecco, Pecoco, Coco. Also, since it's getting cool outside, Scout has her what we call her doe hawk, but doe is back in French, so she has a back hawk. So you have Scout, and she's getting like a pointy bit of fur, like this is her back, but her fur is pointy, so she has like a mohawk. It's a winter mohawk. That's adorable. It's really fitting. She's like angry and edgy and mean, so of course she's the one with the mohawk. I'm always excited for the cats to get extra floofy. Hey, Paolo! Even the cat visitor outside, Mr. Chablis, is getting quite floofy as well. I have finger cramps. I don't know if you guys get those. You're really, really annoying. It's too cold. I'm being a huge baby about it. Oh no! Well, I'm fine here. I'm not cold one bit. Poor Jen. Like, you have the perfect personality to fit in here, but the weather, though. You need more sweaters. Bear is suffering bedhead at the moment, but Amy is turning into fluffy tennis ball. Oh! Poor Bear. I saw one of the visitor cat the other day with long fur. Tried to clean their fur, and it always looks so difficult for them because they kind of run out of mobility before they reach the end of a tuft of hair. So they lick, and it's just like never ending. Wearing sleeves is uncomfy because new tattoo, so I'm extra cranky. Well, you can put do it the Roman style. Have it just on one side of you, or maybe have a blanket. Perhaps a blanket would be more like loose and comfy. Do you have the plastic wrap over your tattoo, or is it bare? I'm all about wearing sleeves. Like the skin on my arms is not the best, so I'm glad when it's time to put on sleeves. First of all, I see it less, so I tend to pick it less, and then it's comfy. It's bare right now. He was out of the plastic wrap. Yeah, but not necessarily the second skin stuff. You know, sometimes in the old days, they would tell you to put some saran wrap and tape it over the tattoo. I'm so confident I would be allergic to the second skin stuff. Yeah, it was all out of plastic because one of the other artists sort of stole it all. Oh no! So he put like one of those paper wraps on me and told me to take it off in the morning. Oh, okay. Did it soak up some of the extra ink well? Because I feel like the paper wrap would be good for that. It soaked up a bit, yeah. Cool. I have a friend who has a lot of tattoos, and she got a tattoo on her leg not long ago. This is a leg, and tattoo. And the artist put the second skin stuff on it. So the second skin stuff is like a plastic wrap. that really sticks to the skin, and it's basically seamless with your skin. But it's a plastic, like well, I'm looking for a word. It's like a wrap, and eventually you can remove it. But yeah, she had her leg all wrapped up like that. And the thing is with fresh tattoos is that sometimes, well, regularly they will ooze ink a bit. Like there's too much ink in the skin, so the extra ink will like ooze out. But this is sealed so tight that it can make, like if you look at it from the side, it can make like a pocket of ink, like. And my friend had that, and at some point she didn't notice, and she didn't notice the bucket of ink, but it also like broke and spilled ink all over her shoes, and she was like, oh, like she was with her mom, I think, and she said, Mom, do you have a paper tissue or something? So I have a few small tattoos, so never really experienced that, but I was like, oh, damn, that's a good seal. It's like plastic gauze. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, my lighthouse had a pocket like that, and it leaked a bit of plasma and ink that time. That's gonna be really surprising when you don't expect it. Like you're going about your business and you're like, why is wet? Ah, damn it. I'm really liking this pen. Oh, nice. Maybe I should doodle a little cat tattoo artist. I need to look into the older techniques, perhaps like the poke and stick thing. So the pros of doing that would be that I wouldn't have to draw the the very complex machinery that's used for doing tattoos, but the downside of going the simpler route is that I might not have a lot of stuff to doodle around, like ink and a couple of pokey sticks and you might even say a tattoo artist. Hey, Rage! Hello! It's nice to see you. Oh my gosh. Is it the first time you come into the live stream? It might be. I've watched a few after the fact. Oh wow, thank you. Out of curiosity, is there anyone in watching or in chat right now that is from Canada? Well, there's Jen, but geographically close, but alas no. I wish I were. I was like, it was really difficult recently to miss out on American politics, just generally, and also I kind of like watching political content to some extent, so it was really present, and yeah, it turned out better than expected, I think, for most people for the midterms, but at the same time, I saw quite a few people recommend to keep passports up to date and to have a bit of money stashed up just in case things get super weird in 2 years. It's not exactly why I was asking, but it just reminded me of that since you were saying you're geographically close. I've been snaking on the US midterm. Yeah, it's impossible to miss, especially if you're concerned and if you have friends in the US. Like whether we want to or not, whatever happens in the US will have impact on everywhere else, you know. I was terrified about the midterms. My passport and kitty care are still ready. Good. Well, good. Not good, you know what I mean, but it's great that you're ready. Things turned out surprisingly better than I think most people expected, like most left-leaning people expected for the midterms, but still. It's only a respite for like 2 years. Ugh. Unless you are Ted Cruz. Yeah, the right, but I mean, it's just so nightmarish, however you look at it. Unless, like, the right is your jam. It's a weird, kind of, I don't know if whiplash is the proper word, but it's really weird right now because you can get some nice life catharsis thing by watching Twitter slowly consume itself and burn out completely. But at the same time, there was the big stress of whatever is happening in the US, and it's not very relaxing on its own. That is, well, what's happening on Twitter is funny, or at least entertaining. What's happening in the US is not very funny, though. I think terrifying is a better word, but, you know. Oh yeah, Musk is... He's exactly what he looks like he is, meaning someone born into wealth and privilege and... yeah. It is very funny that someone that is technically so unfunny is providing such great content. But it's definitely not his fault in a way. Not that the person they're not pushing, but yeah, Ron DeSantis is not, well, I mean, they're politicians, none of them are good. So because the exact wrong people take the exact wrong lessons from illegal bunkers in the US. It's all... I'm glad Fetterman won. Though that debate with Oz was... oh, it was so sad. Yeah, I agree. Dr. Oz is a very sad person. Oh, yes. Really excited to see what Fetterman does as he gets back. Yeah, same. And I mean, that debate was awful, but it's mostly just a singular event because the next day when he was at a rally he seemed kind of better, more composed in a way. So I wonder if it just like was a compound of his recovery and also the stress of being on a debate when you're not, like, in my opinion, what is super strong about Fetterman is that he's not a, you know, the typical politician. So he's not all about giving out a show and convincing people with his show and then not delivering, if you know what I mean. Where Oz is all about like giving a show. He's been on TV a lot. He knows how to present himself. So I guess in his case, a debate is less stressful. I didn't watch that debate. I couldn't take it. But a stroke is something you can heal mostly from. Yeah, definitely. And he's like doing better. Walker, on the other hand, though, a bad personality. And no, he's being a person versus a performer. Exactly. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, Fetterman is so relatable. And the whole situation with these two candidates really highlighted for me how much I hate the all the political performance of trying to smear the other person and straight up lying about someone to smear them. And it's so counterproductive. It's like, well, what's happening? Why are we doing this exactly? Huz is a complete slimeball. Oh, he is. Oh yeah, I agree. Fetterman, like, that's someone who has actually worked. Like, he has never. No, I think Dr. Oz is an actual doctor. I think he did surgeries and all that. But that's not how he sold his show and his supplements and, you know, all that. Like, the guy was more, I think, focused on giving a performance than on being medically accurate in some way. Like, I know this is just an example and it's an easy one, but he went the route of thinking drinking his own pee was actually a good health thing to do, which, if you've had medical training, that makes absolutely no sense. Us being a jerk to a stroke victim despite him being a trained MD. Yeah, that's a very good point. That was that was so slimy. Ugh. So I'm so happy he lost. Go back to what? Go back to Vermont, my dude. That was for Pennsylvania, right? Everything I hear about Pennsylvania is always so extreme. Sorry. I saw Doja Cat trolling Musk. Oh yeah, that was so good. That was so good. Always a huge fan of anyone. Oh yeah, well that's a fair point. He's almost trolling himself at this point with the way he does stuff. I hope to see my teen nephew see through the BS that is Musk someday. He's so... Aw, how old is your nephew? It might just be a you know, a thing of maturity. In the sense that as he get older, he starts realizing that everything Musk does is, you know, either not actually done by him, or not that impressive, or not that good. Showing his mask. If he's only 14. Yeah, there's room for growth here. I'm not stupid, so I do think it might be a learning experience for him too, regarding idolizing people. Yeah. It's typical fan base, teenagers and crypto dude, no lies detected. I saw a tweet that really cracked me up. It was someone who was like, oh, I know all this stuff with Twitter and Elon Musk right now is super entertaining, but please, guys, don't forget to laugh at all the crypto dudes and the crypto crash that is happening right now or something. And I was like, fair point. It's all funny. Hey, Lindsay! Hello! I would be livid if my tax money went to pay for that crypto dude's bankruptcy. Which one? Oh, I would be livid too. Would have been on sooner, but we went to a Christmas jingling meeting. Oh, that sounds fun. Grifto Bros portfolios thinking. Crypto. A grifto. It took me a second there, but oh my god, that's good. Portfolios thinking always bring joy. Oh, seriously. And right after that is to see how much Twitter is worth now. Like after Musk paid, I don't know how many millions for it. And it's worth like, what, a fifth of it now? Maybe. Ah! $8 billion. But he bought it for like 44. So yeah, that's almost, what, a fifth? A bit more? That's hilarious. I mean, this is the dude who thought that the stupid... I don't remember what's it called, but you know his stupid Tesla-only roadway thingy. Like, the stupid tunnels was a good idea. And I feel like you would explain that to anyone and they might grasp right away just how bad it is. You overpaid because of the weed meme? What? All he wants is for people to think he's funny. And that in itself is kind of hilarious. Because he's so not funny. He has really strong 17-year-old dude bro energy. I don't know if I would say 17 or early 20s. I don't know which one is... I feel like people in their early 20s, they're often particularly oblivious. Like when you're 17, you kind of know you're still a teen, but when you're like early 20s, you feel like you're an adult now. And you are, but only on paper. And I feel like if I think back on my own experience, I think my most awful period was in my early 20s. But yeah, either way, I mean, that's a really, not a really important difference, mind you, but... Musk, yeah, he gives me the creep vibes, like he's trying too hard to be young and hangs out with people who are way too young. Yeah, and people he hangs out with with are all yes people. No one ever. Well, it seems like no one stands up to him. Does anyone in here has seen the whole of The Boys? It's a bit like if you haven't, plug your ears for a second. Very minor spoiler, but it reminds me of when the Deep it becomes responsible for the whole like information department thingy. It kind of has that same vibe. On the other hand, I can imagine growing up that rich if it's difficult. Yeah, of course, Elise. But at the same time, a lot of, well, I mean, all super rich people, I mean, find me a good one. But I mean, the other ones are not that, like, there's not many people exactly like him, so there's definitely something different here. The Boys so damn good. Yeah, oh my god, it's like the Deep. Oh my juice! It is like the Deep, right? Minus the squids and the Deep had a better hairline. Oh, is like the most cringy character of the Boys, but in kind of a good way. But, oh my gosh, it's so painful. Yeah, there are no good billionaires. Billionaires. That's really the line. If someone can be a good millionaire, but if you get into billionaire territory, you're done with. Otto, hello. How are you? The ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. I don't know. If she's a billionaire, she's no good. Like it's not a case of finding. Well, they all donate money. That's for tax reasons. Like someone I would, but she's not a billionaire, so she doesn't count. But I know that I think Dolly Parton makes it a point to never get to a point where she's a billionaire. She always gives enough money to keep her within the millionaire area rather than the billionaire area. So I think that might, like, I think she gets it to some extent. And I mean, it's Dolly Parton. It's not like she cannot be awesome and end up with a bunch of money. But yeah, if someone crosses into billionaire territory, just forget about them. I was doodling stuff, Otto, and I just, like, turned a page. I think I'm trying to find a something to doodle. And I'm using this sketchbook you sent me, and I really like it. It's the Leuchtturm one. Oh no, oh yeah, it is. It's the one from Blackwell, and I love it. I love the paper. Like I'm using a relatively juicy pen, and you can sort of see it a bit ghosting through, but not enough to be annoying. Up and down to better down. Oh, that's good, Lise. Whatever about how she needed money. Bezos' ex-wife made some sort of pledge to get rid of most of her money. Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, when you think about it, who needs that much money? It's like keeping this money out of the economy in a way. Like it's just useless. It always reminds me of people hoarding all the bread, but like eventually this bread goes bad and you cannot eat it all, so why do you hoard all the bread? Oh yeah, we'll never become millionaires through watercolor. Not even millionaire. Not even rich by any stretch of the imagination. We are rich in friendships. That's about it. Treasure is the real treasure. I know, I forgot. I'm sorry. I don't know who Damien Hirst is. They're back together and sell this. Oh, that's great. What about the third one, Lise? I was shocked though. One of the channels I like has 500k plus subs just announced he can't carry on because he's working below minimum. Oh, whoa. Yay! YouTube! Da, 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 da. He's a big British artist. Well, I mean, like Gene Haynes is a big British artist too, but I feel like most artists who end up rich were rich to begin with. Petra is too reactive to be bonded just yet, but we haven't given... Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. At least Fran and Louis are back together. Treasure is the real treasure. Ah, season 2 win! So wait, we're November, so December, janvier, février, Mars. Maybe what, 4 or 5 months, possibly? I'm thinking it's going to be April rather than March this season. Yeah, that's only a month away though, that's not too bad. I wanted to talk about something last week and I think I didn't get to it. Actually, I'm gonna call for a bio break. I'll be right back. So just gonna mute the mic for like a couple of minutes, go to the bathroom, come back and resume. All right. Sorry. That little cat in the corner is destroying me with its cuteness. Same, it is an outstanding cat. This view of the desk would make an excellent background for Zoom meetings. Oh my gosh. I've been looking at YouTube Red for the feature that allows you to play it in the background on your phone. Also no ads, but I can't really justify it at this point. So just gonna wait until you guys tell me that you can hear me fine, and I'm gonna start rambling away. Can hear ya. Awesome. All right, so I want to talk, in fact, about anxiety in general. So a bit of background. I had been feeling super extra anxious, and it's not a great feeling. So I did a couple of things. I saw my doctor, and she's switching me to different meds. But also something I started doing that has been super helpful is I've been doing like these really basic braided bracelet thingies. Like the very basic patterns, mostly like the diagonal thingy and the arrows. And variations on those themes. But, you know, the super basic stuff. I have this thread... Gets popcorn, anxiety sucks ball. Oh, definitely, all the balls. But yeah, and this is like mostly thread that I've had for decades. It's the thread that I had as a teenager when I did these too. But as a teen, I don't think I ever really finished one, or I might have, but like I finished 3 in all my life before now, and and now in what, like 2 months I made all of these possibly. But yeah, they're very simple. Like it's nothing revolutionary, but I find them super relaxing to do, and they really help with anxiety, because what happens when I get anxiety sort of crisis is that I get sort of paralyzed, and everything around me, like I look at the stuff around me and I cannot do nothing. Like everything is too daunting. Everything just fills me with this dread and this fear. But I found that I can just start doing these like kind of absent-mindedly, and they really help in a way, because they fit in this niche of stuff that you don't need a lot of focus and brain power to do, but you're still making something. And it's kind of like a tiny step that helps you know, wind down from the big feelings of anxiety. Now, these are not the ones that I made as a kid. These are all those that I made recently. But the threads themselves, yeah, they were stored in boxes, and they did. I mean, it's just cotton, so I legit forgot how to make those. Yeah, well, it's like biking. You never really, like, you can get back to it really easy. There's like 2 knots. You either do like a right facing knot or a left facing knot. That's all there is to it. And it's how you combine these that you can make patterns. Knitting is the same for me in crochet. Yeah, knitting and crochet are good for that too, but like the advantage for me of this is that it's a sort of a stepping stone. Like it's small. It's a really small footprint. I can just like pin it to the board on my desk and do it for like 15 minutes, and then I unpin it, start away, and I don't have to set up much of anything. So it's like a good stepping stone in between doing nothing and getting out the crochet stuff. I understand about the day stopping anxiety. Yeah, it's so weird. Like it's such an odd and unpleasant feeling. There's no pressure. It's methodical and productive. Exactly. Yeah. I can't be methodical with crochet unless I'm doing like something that is not a pattern. But yeah, like that's why I'm doing all these super basic knots. It's because it's the most like methodical stuff. I tried making one that was a bit more complex and it didn't look really good because of the threads I chose. Like there's a shiny thread in there and it's kind of thicker than the other threads. And I just decided to do it like diagonals simply to finish it. Yeah, left knot or right knot, that's all there is to it. Finding those small, simple, meditative things to do is so helpful. I used to do swatches. Yeah, starting my magic. Oh, that's so cool though. And yeah, that's what I'm figuring out. The other thing that has sort of helped my anxiety lately is I guess I was finally mentally ready, but I started reading a book I've had for years about minimalism, and it's been helping me like declutter and trying to reduce the number of things I own. And that's been good for the anxiety thing too. Like it's sort of it's a progress because like the anxiety is there mostly until you get rid of the items, but then there's always a bit of it left in the sense that I'm not used yet to this feeling of like, but what if I need the thing? And I've had to really work hard on that and tell myself like, it's just a thing, you might need it, you might not. If you do need it, you can possibly buy it again. You know, just trying to control this panic feeling. But yeah, I've been decluttering a lot of books for now, and clothes I did a couple of weeks ago. And it's been a great feeling for things. It does feel more freeing. It is super stressful to do, mind you, but when you're ready to do it and you can do it, it feels really nice. Having the same audiobook or show in the background too. The number of times I've had Firefly on 24/7 back in the day. Oh my gosh. My mom has knitted so many stockings. You mean like socks, right? You've been decluttering. Thank you so much. It is hard. It's a difficult process when you're not used to it. But being able to talk about it with people like Otto who have more experience in decluttering, and also reading the book like I mentioned. I've looked at other books like online, and sometimes you can tell that a book is for you or not from the blurb. And well, this one is really more relatable to me because it's like, well, in general, not all aspects, but the way the person speaks about what they felt and how they felt and what the things made them feel is something that has been resonating with me. And also, I think a thing that has sort of made me more ready for decluttering is the fact that I lost my mom and my grandma in like 2 years. And it just puts a weird spin on owning stuff if when you pass, all that stuff is sort of meaningless. It's just weird. It's a really weird like brain thing. But yeah, like I got a couple of things from my mom, and I'm still not sure what to do with it, you know? I've been decluttering slowly too over the past couple of years. It's really good. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like to be able to realize that decluttering doesn't have to happen all at once. That you can like have sort of waves of decluttering, and it can take it can happen over years is sort of really helpful to think of too, because you can categorize stuff in like, okay, this I'm ready to let go, these I'm unsure, so I will leave them there for now and I will come back to this later. And it's really a relief to be able to sort items in that category too. I've been put in mindfulness classes by my therapist. I'm not sold on it for myself. It was used against me, but it's helped. I hope it does help you. All of a sudden, there are space for things on the shelves, and then less possible. Yeah! What an odd concept! It's great there are now so many books on minimalism that each person is more like... Yeah, that too. I agree, Otto. To be able to find a book where you can really connect with the person who wrote it, that's really, really great. Like, I know it's not for me if a book starts with talking about meditation, because that's something you can connect with me right away. I really struggle with this idea of meditating. Like, no, my brain is buzzing. Like, I cannot I cannot bring it to just chill like that. Like, I'm not there yet, if anything. But the one that I found was more my jam, and also it started with photos, so that was a really good way to get me into the idea to see before and afters, you know. I have bad anxiety as well. I started meditate again since I have this chaotic type anxiety, which feels like world going chaos. Even that's a really weird feeling. Like, there's nothing special happening, but it just feels overwhelming. Activities that involve your hands doing different things together, like knitting, crochet, friendship bracelet is supposed to be... Oh, really? Huh. Definitely hands keeping busy is good. I tend to pick... Yeah, me too. I do that too. And like, it's related to, like I said, the arm thing, and I tend to pick at the skin around my fingernails too, and it's always like there's like, especially in the winter, like the skin is extra dry. You just look at it wrong and it cracks. So if I pick at it, it just gets so bad. After my family stuff, I'm stuck in this halfway ground between wanting to hoard everything and only having... Yeah, that's difficult. That's always like, if having stuff has a lot of emotional connection, I feel like that's kind of always the two modes that one can switch back and forth from. Like, I'm kind of scared of when the when the momentum is gonna switch back, and I just hope it doesn't make me panic and feel like I did the wrong thing, you know. I used to play the piano a lot. I think that helped me. I miss it. Aw. Is it something you could get back into? But this dried up marker that hasn't worked in your... Yeah, exactly. But the thing is this dried up marker that hasn't worked in your has been given to me from, you know, so and so. If it's just something that I bought for myself and it's dried up, I don't find it that hard to just bin it. What gives me pause is that I hate just throwing stuff away because they made us feel super guilty about trash and pollution. When, I mean, it's the companies that do the worst of it. Let's be honest here. Don't worry if they do. These things come in waves. Yeah, it's just, I just hope that the wave that will come will not completely unmoor me. Like, that's what I'm kind of worried about, is panicking. Because I know it will come. I'm afraid of the panic and doing stupid stuff while panicking. I hoard then declutter, then hoard then declutter. This wing gets smaller over time too. Oh, that's good. Used to establish better relationship with objects. I use Facebook free groups. Yeah, Marketplace is a good thing. I use Poshmark to maybe try and sell some of the things. Like, not for a lot of money. It's just that I like the feeling of like someone purchasing a thing because you're like, they want it. Well, I'm always afraid that when I bring stuff to the donation center, they will maybe just bin some things because they don't know what they're for, you know. But I will donate. Like, I don't trash. The only thing I trash is trash. I moved and wasn't able to bring the piano of my dreams that I saved up. Oh no. And I started laughing, and oh, that's really sad. That's sad. I'm also here. Yeah. I will probably poke you if I start panicking. I need to head to bed. Hey, good night, Cyan. I hope you have a good one. Yeah, that's the thing. I spoke to my doctor and she's switching my medication. I'm not doing the switch right away. I want to wait like maybe a week or a bit over a week. Like I want to I want to start the switch after, you know. But and also she was like, "Oh, well, if you could find a therapist, that would be good." And I think that's the biggest thing to wrap my mind around, because I've tried a couple of therapists and it was not the most efficient experience, and didn't keep a good vibe from it, and I'm just really unsure about it, and I don't feel like I have the energy to start shopping for a good therapist. Maybe it's just so much work. So I was like, okay, well, do what you can on your own to try to make it better, and when you've done that and there's still issues, then maybe you'll feel more optimistic about finding a good therapist, you know. A friend who knits and hoards yarn and I, art stationery supplies, are trying to put together goodie bags of our unused stuff for a blind date with art. Oh, that's lovely! Yes! I just donated quite a few art supplies to some local refugees. Oh, that's good! That's good. That's all good things. I need a lipstick. I have a lipstick. So there's one thing I really like about Poshmark, is that it kind of takes care of the shipping for you. It's only within, your country. So for me, it's only within Canada, but it's a relief. Like, the shipping is prepaid. You just print out the label and everything is sort of figured out. And all you have to do is carefully wrap what the person bought, put it in a box, put the label on it, get it to the post office, and that's it. So that's a really fun system, as opposed to eBay, where you kind of have to measure and weigh everything, and it can get really expensive. 100% understand. If spending your surplus energy to find another therapist just to discover they're not the right one either is really disheartening and it is exhausting, isn't it? I have assigned next year as the year to use up things I've ordered. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good idea. I like that. Get our acts together. Uncorrected typos. Give me anxiety. Oh no. I read it. I think I read the missing word, so. Because they're now spilling out of their designated. Oh no. I think the only supplies I hoard at the moment is paints. But I told myself, like, declutter all the other stuff that you can and keep art supplies at the very end of it. Because you might feel like it feels like it's an easy one to remove. But I feel it's the most, the one that has the highest risk of sort of betraying me in the end. Because, yeah, it's hard to declutter your job stuff. That's true. And I feel like these extra things are possibly the ones I'm most likely to end up using. Because I use paint. I just have a lot of it, So to sort of give myself kind of a structure, I told myself, I was like, well, unless it's something like you won't keep, like let's say some student paint set, keep art supply decluttering for the very last thing you declutter. It's hard to declutter your job stuff. Yeah, and you declutter and then you realize you need something for video, which is not the best feeling. But yeah, so I was like, okay, fine. I know I have a lot of paint. I know that's something that might need to be addressed, but later. And that has felt kind of good, I've decluttered a lot of pencils and pens, because those I don't feel like I need to have as much. But paints is different. Paints is trickier to sort of figure out. So speaking of paint, I've just poured some full pans and I'm wondering if there's a best way to dry them that any of you know of. The only tricks I tips I kind of have about drying paint in pans is to, if it's a paint that has the proper consistency, you try to do multiple pours instead of just one big pour that fills the pan. Like you start with like a third of the pan, you let that dry, then you add another third on top, and you know, like what they do in companies like Schminke. I feel like that's kind of easier, like it dries a bit better, it dries a bit more quickly, and you can sort of correct course as you go. I'm pretty sure it's not the normal but my last therapist, we had like a 30-minute chat over Skype, and she told me about what her specialties were and asked a lot of questions. Then we had a follow-up to see if it felt well. I don't know, that I think when I was sort of just looking at the options in this area, because I did a bit of like a research, like quick Google research, and there was one sort of group that was offering a service like that, and I felt like that was great. I was like, okay, that's good. But the experiences I've had, the first one I met, we had the first session where she was basically like, okay, talk to me about you, and I was like, and I did do the best of my abilities, and then she kind of presented her, like the kind of course she was seeing for myself, and it just didn't feel right. I was like, yeah, but no, you know. So I never saw that one again, and the one that I saw for multiple sessions, it wasn't very fruitful. She or me, I mean, we couldn't connect. Like there was really a disconnect there that didn't resolve over like 12 sessions. So when I ran out of money for it, well, I just stopped seeing her. Books were where I started and then clothes. I started with clothes. Clothes were easier to declutter. And then now I'm doing books and some stationery art supplies. As much as I love rubber stamps, I really had too many of them. So I'm trying to sell some of these. I've had a shopping cart filled with art supplies open on my computer for a week, trying to trim it down. If I keep trying to trim it, I won't actually buy and add to the hoard, I guess. Yeah. It's tricky. I find that art supplies, it's extra tricky. Because to me, that's the one thing that always has the potential of being used. Like, sometimes I've had weird passes where I would be obsessed with, like, makeup. But I'm never gonna use makeup. Like, I don't have this skin for it. It's not productive for me to look at makeup and hoard makeup that I don't use. But paints, I know paints, I'll use them in some way. Like there's always the possibility of using that paint. So I feel it's harder to figure it out. I've never actually met my therapist, which is... Oh, that sounds like ideal. I think my perpetual shopping cart thing is the equivalent of self-medicating, and I should get over the anxiety about trying to find a therapist. Yeah, that's a self-defeating. I totally understand, though. Everyone I've seen were like, well, why don't you find a therapist? And I'm like, easier said than done, my friend. What a nightmare. I think lockdown has shifted how therapists provide their services a lot. And that's fine with me. More than one of my friends have found good therapists because they can do Zoom. Oh, that's good to hear. It also helps me show up to my sessions, where on bad days I would miss so many physical sessions because I couldn't bring myself to... Yeah. Whereas no matter what, I can drag myself to the laptop, even if it's bed hair and wrapped in dressing gown. And I mean, your therapist will understand too. That was definitely a bonus. And my own cup of tea, my animals. And a comfy seat. When I would go to see the one therapist I saw over multiple sessions, like it was some uncomfortable plastic chair at the, you know, at the doctor's office. Like it was really not great. The thing that really helped me was being clear in what area I needed help. Then I looked for people who specialized in that. Oh. How did you figure out those ideas? Was it from experience or was it from self-reflection? Or, I mean, we can talk about something else if that's too, like, personal. But got fired from my therapist in Chicago because I refused to go in on a game day where the trains would be crammed with drunk. Oh, really? Yikes. Ew. Self-reflection, like I knew I wanted to deal with certain set of things and I could see a theme. Okay, cool. I find it hard for introvert people to just, I don't know, I feel like it's hard to deal with a therapist because they're not in my head and I'm not super well equipped to express myself in words. So I think that doing the most I can on my own first will maybe help me figure out what I need after. It was one of those assigned therapists and psychiatrists, so it was very much one in, one out, your number kind of, blah, 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 blah. Yuck. Ugh. I'm glad that turned out for the best, but yikes. I kind of really like this one. Maybe I'll turn it into a Patreon sticker or something. He was having panic attacks and things, and we were broke, so the state said, "Here you go," and I'm glad it was there, but could definitely have helped them out by pointing out the flaws. Oh my gosh. It's kind of this gray area of like, it's a good idea in theory, but the application, does it really help? Like, the way it's integrated, is there really something good coming out of that? And therapists are like friends. You can't expect one therapist to be able to cover all your needs. Don't be afraid to be specific with what you want therapists to deal with and move on. That's a really good insight. I feel like the the general perception we get from how therapists work is like, I guess we get it from what we see on TV. It's not helpful. Although, Jesus, can we talk about how difficult it is to make friends as adults? Well, I feel like it's, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of split. It's difficult to make friends that you can meet with in person. But at the same time, with being able to go online and to visit areas of interest where you meet other people with similar interests, I feel like it's kind of easier to make connections with people that you would not have met in person. Though, yeah, we absolutely agree. Hey, Ginger! Hello! We were talking about making friends in real life, me and Mr. E, recently, just because we were talking about D&D stuff and tabletop RPGs, and how as teens or young adults, it was much easier to play regularly for a bunch of reasons, but it also included the fact that we had more friends in the same area, because all the friends we had from school, high school, college, you know, like they were all in that area. So you meet a lot of people, and the friends you have, they're in your area. Some of them have cars, and it's a vast group of friends. So we could have multiple games with different systems and different people. And like, if one game wasn't played for a month, well, it wasn't too bad in the sense that you could play any of your other games with other people. Does that make sense? All this time work, I can't get... See, the thing is, I have ADHD and this have object permanence, which means if I don't see, hear from a friend, they sort of don't exist. Oh, that's difficult. Making friends as an adult without having children. Oh yeah, that's a good point too. If only for the sake of being able to match schedules. Like, people who have friends, it might be easier for them to get together because they can manage like all the kids together and all the adults like consequently. Whereas if you want to find other adults that do not have kids, so that have a more similar schedule to yours, it's really tricky. So like, you and I talk to each other every day, so that's not a problem. Oh yeah, it makes absolute sense. And I'm the terrible friend who don't ring text contact first. Well, seriously, that's I wouldn't call that being a terrible friend. Especially if they're your friend and they know why it's like that. Like, if I know you enjoy doing stuff but don't think about it because of the ADHD thing, I would just take that into consideration, be the one being annoying, like, hey, do you want to do something? All the time, you know. I'm super understanding of friends who don't contact for a while, being that's... Yeah, that too. And at the same time, like, being that way made me realize that some people I would try to contact and they would never make anything happen. I just realized that maybe it would be better off if I just cut these people out of my life. And I've done that, and it's been okay as far as I know. I think part of the problem is, even as adults, many people struggle setting boundaries up front, and because adults often have more obligations, that struggle is not one everyone can just work with or ever. Yeah, we know we've been thinking of each other, even if we can't manage to contact. Yeah, exactly. And on the other hand, like, people that you try to contact and make stuff happen with, like, for me, it's almost always have been like, hey, the person will say something like, oh, we should really talk, like, either if it's someone who lives further away, it will be like, oh, we should call one another, and I'll be like, okay, cool. You're the one with kids, so let me know when you're available. I'm kind of available all the time because I don't really have kids or set in stone work hours, and the person never writes back. And you're like, well, okay, I'm gonna poke you again, but that's the last time I'm doing that. If you still don't make anything happen, I'm just gonna stop poking you, you know? And eventually, if that means we don't really talk anymore, well, maybe it's just where we're at in this relationship. But not everyone minds. I can be the same. Sometimes I see someone 3 times a week, then not for 2 months, and all is fine. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, my family is a bit like that, so that's not something I struggle with. But, well, my family. My dad and my brother are like that. My mom would call me more often, but she would call and we'd have nothing to say. Like, nothing happened. And I'm just like, well, it was more for her because I felt like she wanted to talk, but it was just weird. Whereas the rest of my family is more about, like, if we have something to share, we will call each other, but if there's nothing new, well, no need, you know. Currently having a battle with one of my besties who knows I'm like that, but insists I will make the first move. Oof. They might have to wait for some time before that happens. A good friend can always pick up right where we left off. That's true. Then I get anxious if I don't hear from them. Like, screwed if I do, screwed if I don't. Yeah. Text or call first. How very Dutch. Been having XYZ not important. One of my most frequent things I say out loud after dealing with other people is do not envy hostage. Oh my gosh, nope. Or school teachers. Oh, they have the toughest job, honestly. Hey, Ron, I'm not feeling that well. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, Paulo. See ya next week. Go get some rest. Hopefully that will help. Besides, it's almost 4, so we'll be closing things up to here. I really need to get back into drawing. I've kind of not drawn a lot lately. Not sketched a lot, and I forget that sometimes while sketching some good stuff might happen. My therapist keeps hinting that I am not very open with people, but then my brain is like, you cannot trust people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm sort of in a weird place with therapists. I don't want to share too much of my impressions because I don't feel like they're accurate or anything. I've done almost zero art lately and my brain is borderline. Oh no. Well, you had a lot to deal with, I mean, in the US, people who live in the US recently have had so much on their plate and so many stressful things going on. Like, absolutely understandable. It's gonna be hard to think about, like, being creative when your brain is in panic mode, you know? Like, my that's not helpful, but when I see what you wrote, Otto, my brain goes to, okay, well, you're not very open with people, and why is that necessarily a bad thing, you know? Like, is it possible to just tweak it a little bit so it's maybe a bit better, but is still, like, comfortable for you to be in. That's the thing that my therapist was trying to make me do, that I couldn't figure it out. She kept insisting that I should go out and sit in cafes. And I was like, but I don't want to. And she was not able to kind of bring me to see why that would be helpful. And I just couldn't see it on my own. Like, I was trying to tell her, and I was like, well, it's a big energy commitment for not much. And I feel like I connect with people on a daily basis. Not necessarily with people like in person, but I talk with Otto, I talk with Mystery, I talk with other people online. Like, I'm not just closed up in my head all day long, you know. So yeah, I feel like it's okay to not be like outright open with people, but maybe it's something that can gradually be eased up a bit. Like if not like, oh, you have to be a bit more open with everyone, but maybe it's more about selecting who you feel comfortable being open with. Like, there's some people I don't necessarily want to talk to them about stuff. Like, but there are other people where I feel it's really easy to just chat with them. Like, they feel more welcoming. I'm taking today's anti-anxiety advice and I'm now painting primer on 12 little 3D printed busts. Oh, that's so cool. To use to swatch model paints. Oh, nice. Hey, that's a really great idea. I think that was the streamer already. Oh, that's great. But for anxiety in my brain, I can still do art. That's such a good idea to test out model paints, though. I love it so much. Like for a miniature and all that, right? Oh, that's such a good idea. Like, we all do the paint swatch on the cap of the bottle thing, but it's actually really helpful to have them on a 3D object. Over primer, too. Like, let's throw an introvert into going to a public space with the purpose of meeting strangers. Like, hell no. The right kind of people. It's not an handicap. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, when you don't vibe. The therapist was super kind, but it just was not the right, like, connection. Being able to sit in a cafe without random bursts of panic, turbo helpful. Love that. But there needs to be some type of balance and easing into the interacting. Yeah, that's what I was trying to find, but I live in an area where there is not really any cafe, or if there are, they're empty, so really I can stay home at that point, you know. And like, if I have to commute to go to a cafe full of people and have to deal with all, you know, all the stuff that comes with that, like, oh, but if I have to use the bathroom, well, it's a public bathroom and I cannot leave my stuff on the table necessarily because it's a cafe and I'm on my own, and you know, it's just a lot of stuff all at once, rather than, you know, sort of easing into it. Which is why I felt it wasn't actually helpful, because I felt like she wasn't hearing me when I was telling her my issues with her suggestions. She just kept repeating, like, you should really try to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but no. Okay, next. One of my closest friends is really quiet with people and we tag team a lot. So I might be bubbly in chat and she will occasionally deliver the punchline. Oh yeah, that's a really good, yeah, that's fun. Yep. That's a really good dynamic. I love that. Minifigures about 4CMI. Oh, that's cool. That's really, really cool. 3D printed ones. Man, 3D printing is so cool. She couldn't make eye contact with any of us when we first met. Now she's not a social butterfly, but thinks she can deliver my punchlines well. I don't know if you've been to a cafe recently, but people in cafes are either already with other people or staring at their laptop with the do not disturb vibe turned on max. I don't know, it depends on the cafe. Here it's a bit of a mixed bag. Oh, you mean in the sense that it's not going to really help you? Yeah, I don't know what she was really aiming for. I think she was like, you have to be around other people. And I was like, do I? I would rather go to the, you know, the nearby drugstore for 30 minutes and just walk around the aisle aimlessly and you know, meet people. I think that would be perhaps even more of an interaction than just going to a cafe. I don't know, it was just, I think she wanted me to get out the house, but I was like, eh. My house is fine. I've complained about this before, but I joined a local adult learning class for watercolor, and it was just full of hassles? Assholes? Really? It just made it really hard to want to try something. Oh no! No, no, no! It's so bad. Training isn't worth much if it's not done according to our... Yeah, that's kind of what I realized. I felt like she wasn't hearing me at all, so that made me really unwilling to work with another therapist, at least not before I do some work on my own of the stuff that I can figure out myself, you know. Yeah, in that sense of you meeting new people. Yeah, no, it's the worst. I mean, you will see other people in a cafe, but you will not meet anyone. Joining a little art group helps, but it isn't like the first one is the right one for you right away. But it's not like there's a lot of them either. I don't know, I feel like if I were to look at the local art classes, there wouldn't be that many. I feel like people who live in areas where there are urban sketching groups, that might be interesting. Just because it's outside and you can sort of isolate yourself if things get a bit too much. Me, hi, blah blah blah, watercolor, brands, paper, blah blah blah, them. So Julie, where are you vacationing this year? Ugh. Oh no! It's just a social group with like paint as an excuse for meeting. That's terrifying. I went to our local crafting group several times, but I wasn't feeling like I was developing any sort of friendships with anyone. Oh no! It's like you meet colleagues, but I mean, that happens a lot with work. Like you work in places, I worked in quite a couple of places, and I would meet really nice people there. Like really awesome colleagues. But in terms of friendships, over 10 years of working in different jobs, I only made one friend. So it's difficult. Like you get along fine with people, but that doesn't necessarily make them friends if you... It's hard. It's really hard. You kind of need to pendulum a bit in and out of the comfort zone. Cafe won't swing. Cafe is a bit too far out, you know. When I moved to Scotland, I was lucky. First two groups I joined were fantastic. Oh! In Ireland, I had to join several before I found the ones that were a good fit. Well, you're lucky you were able to try many. I live in a weird area because I live on the island of Montreal, so it's a very population dense area. But if you look on the map, I live in an area where there's nothing. Everything, like, okay, let's say that this is the island of Montreal, okay, very roughly. And I live in like an area, and like I said, that's me. But all this circle around here, there's nothing. Like if we want to get bike repairs, we have to go far outside the circle. If we want any kind of group activity, it doesn't happen in this area. Everything is, well, unless it's stuff for kids, but I'm a bit too old for that, don't you think? So it's a bit odd because it has all the sort of situations of living on the island in a big city, but nothing, like I cannot walk to any of these things. And the ones that I found nearby, they were always a bit odd. Like there is one building nearby that seems to have art classes, but I don't think it's my vibe at all. Like I've looked at it, I've looked online, I've looked at the site, and I can tell that they're not for me. And yeah, urban sketching, I would have to like commute significantly to get there. And I mean, it's a thing. It's just I don't necessarily enjoy urban sketching all that much either. Yeah, I only have one friend who I still keep in touch with from my teaching days. Oh, that and my husband. Yeah, thankfully. Also, dear friends, friendly reminder, you are awkward and fabulous. And if you go, you'll probably be awkward and fabulous, and that's okay. Ain't no shame in being your friends. I agree. Also, ain't no shame in being exhausted from going out. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like it's difficult. I feel like it's often the case with people who enjoy being outside, awkward bliss, and it's like it's draining. And I feel like that's sort of an overlooked aspect of going out, is that it can be really exhausting, and that's something to consider. Also, meeting up or even zooming with art friends, one thing I've found helpful is asking what their ideal scenario is, such as, do they prefer I be an excitable monkey or more low-key? I can do either. For some, I have to drive an hour, and how many good friends do you need? That's different for everyone. I have 3, that's enough. I have multiple other friends, but I am less invested in Oculus. Oculus? Is that how you would say that? Oh. There you go. Yep, scheduled downtime is a must for a lot of us. Yeah. Oh man, I need serious recovery time. I feel like that's why sometimes when like we plan for activity, we can sort of overplan, maybe because we're used from this energy we had when we were younger. But it's like, hey, a good outing is let's all go into this cafe and just sit and, you know, eat a donut and be happy, and then maybe walk around a bit. Like, the thing is it's not seeing the friend that's draining, it's everything around it. It's like commuting, being around people you don't know, walking outside, having to pay attention to other people you don't know because they don't do that, they don't pay attention. And then you have to get home and sort of decompress from all that. Me too. I thought I had planned this week out, and instead I just missed the whole weekend of then. Oops. Whoops, was me too. Well, I mean, they're your dance friends. I'm pretty sure they're like, they know you. All right. Well, I'm gonna, you know, slowly shut stuff. So unless you guys have maybe some last minute questions or things you want to mention, I'm gonna end things and get up and stretch a bit. Well, thank you guys for the great stream. You guys were super fun. Thank you, though. Thank you, Rage. Was finding out. Thanks for streaming. Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm always here on Saturdays unless I can't, and then I say so. I don't know if there will be a stream next weekend, so I will try to I always try to make a post if I can't have a stream and put some cat video or something. So yes, thank you everyone. Absolutely, no issue with friends, but it's like the annual big thing, and I had signed up for workshop. Someone. Oh no, Lise. Yep. Oh well. That happens. It's amazing for all 3 mods to be together. Yeah, that's a momentous occasion. How cool is? Alright guys, have a great week. And see y'all either on the Discord server or on Twitter or somewhere. And maybe next week, or if not, the week after that. And yep, have fun. Bye bye.